Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Legacy of the Duelist and Rocket Rabbit Commentaries, and in this episode we will inflict vengeance upon Titan and his chess archfiends. I will say that I actually really like Skull Archfiend of Lightning. The 500 life point cost on it is much cheaper than most of the other chess archfiends, and the coin flip protection on it is awesome. It is by far and away the best of the chess archfiends. As past annotations Gurdette mentions here. So, the thing about the chess archfiends though is that although Skull Archfiend of Lightning is indeed a threat, it's also the only one that's actually a threat, because Terra King doesn't work without Queen. Shadow Knight costs way too much in order to be viable without Pandemonium. Desrook has got a decent amount of defense, but only defense, and the other chess pieces are all very tiny. Viapon's 12, Bishop is only 4, right?
Yeah, the Bishop is quite weak. Yeah, only 400 attack. Well, the idea is that they're supposed to get the complementary attack power from Pandemonium. They use a similar attack and defense assignment philosophy when they created the Gravekeepers, because the Gravekeepers in the original iteration in Pharaonic Guardian were all relatively weak. The point was that they eventually enjoy a 500-point attack bonus when Necro Valley hit the field, which Gravekeepers at the time absolutely depended on Necro Valley being in play.
But here's the issue. Pandemonium doesn't give a stat bonus.
No, it does.
No, it does not.
I saw it. But how did Infernal Queen get 1900 attack when it was our turn?
Because that is a retrain of the original Queen, Archfiend. And Infernal Queen allows very specifically that during the standby phase you can target one of your other Archfiends, rather one Archfiend you control, and give it 1,000 points, 1,000 additional attack points for the until the end phase.
Yeah. Have we learned nothing, Mr. Gurdette? You can't easily destroy the chess archfiends by targeting them.
Well, here's the thing. I wasn't trying to destroy it. I was just trying to keep my Des Koala alive.
You gave it a shot there. Yeah, see, Nightmare... So it strikes me that a number of our go-to plays...
here is not anywhere near as useful as it normally would be, but it is still definitely a thing I'm willing to gamble on.
Yeah, it's a gamble, absolutely. He's... I don't know what the
hell
he's
changing my Zombino into defense mode. That way he can attempt to kill it with his Desrook.
And he will.
Well, he will attempt to.
And we will attempt to stop him with Nightmare Wheel, another card that targets.
And we will attempt it twice. Haha!
One of these has got to work.
In fact, they are both likely to work, because Desrook only gets its protection on 3. So, there.
But he has to do the check for both of them.
Yep.
So now he's going to take 1,000 points of damage during
our standby phase, allowing us to switch our Zombino back into attack mode, and also flip summon our Mecha Bunny.
Burn him for another 500 damage.
And then from here, we can just wait.
Pretty much.
I mean, I could go into Mrs. Radiant, but I guess I'm going for it. Yeah, because that's 9. And that's another. Oh, wait, that's exact game. Haha! Sweet!
Perfect.
I always forget the attack stats of Mecha Bunny. Yay, we successfully rescued Alexis from Titan. Woot! Also, here's where we learn that Alexis being out and about is specifically hunting for clues about her brother.
Oh, those long-lost brothers.
Alright, for the sake of Cyrus. This is an interesting duel because we get to actually play as Zane. Yes, we get to play as what is actually the best archetype during this period, Cyber Dragons. And admittedly, we're playing a bloated version of Cyber Dragons because there were a lot of cyber fucking cards at this point. And most of them are pretty bad. Do you remember Cyber Kieran, Mr. Cloud?
I do not, no.
Well, you might get to see it, actually. I recall that a later duel specifically has Zane play Cyber Kieran. Okay, so despite how bloated as Pascarda is mentioning here, we're playing Cyber Dragon OTK. So our goal right now, and we're actually running a lot of the newer support for Cyber Dragons for this duel, which is kind of weird. But yeah, our goal is very specific. Our goal very specifically is to get out Cyber Twin Dragon with Power Bond and just absolutely kill our opponent with it. You might be wondering why I'm summoning Cyber Larva in attack mode, and it's because Jaden is going to attempt to kill it. And then when he attempts to kill it, we will no longer take battle damage for the rest of the turn, and then we will also be able to special summon another Cyber Larva from our deck. Which will, thin out our deck, making it so that we have a relatively high chance of getting, a slightly higher chance, rather, of drawing into another Cyber Dragon, or Cyber Dragon-like.
Now, I remember when Cyber Twin Dragon was a bastard child to go up against because he gets to attack twice in the same battle phase.
Yes, and with Power Bond, the Cyber Twin Dragon can very easily one-turn kill pretty much anyone. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna tribute our Cyber Larva for our Cyber Dragon, and then we're gonna run over this Elemental Hero Avion, right? Yay!
Yay!
So next turn we should win.
Oh, that great moment when you realize that an opponent was bluffing with a face-down card.
He set his skyscraper, Mr. Cloud. Look at all the things he is attempting to do to prevent us from winning this turn.
Pick a card, any card.
Alright. Use that in order to grab that. And
nice.
We don't actually have a Cyber Dragon in our graveyard yet, but I can put one in there if I use Power Bond. But no, we're just gonna go into polymerization to bring out Cyber Twin.
But isn't this rather risky?
Then we can use Cyber Repair Plant in order to grab one of our Cyber Dragons from our graveyard back to our hand, and then next turn we can Power Bond into yet another Cyber Twin Dragon.
Nice.
Past Gurdette, you want to actually do the thing that President Gurdette has described? I mean, you don't need Cyber Repair Plant, but okay, fine.
Yeah.
Warrior returning alive to bring back Avion. Polymerization. Oh no! That's gonna be Flame Wingman, right? Yep, that's Flame Wingman, and we know that set spell has got to be Skyscraper. This is gonna hurt, Mr. Cloud.
Yeah, this is gonna hurt quite a bit. It's alright. This will be the first damage he inflicted all game.
Yeah, but it's still 3,100 points.
Well, yeah, we can take it.
Assuming he doesn't have any battle traps, at least.
I think by now, if he did have a battle trap, he would have revealed it. Been showing a lot of bluffs so far.
Oh, we can't actually use a cyber repair unit to cycle one of our cyber dragons from our graveyard back to our hand. But what we can do is go for either sway or dry, and then use those as power bond material for Cyber Twin Dragon. I do like that our first instance of playing with these shows us the later waves of Cyber Dragon support, because dry specifically is meant to be the stepping stone to go into Cyber Dragon Infinity, and although we don't have Cyber Dragon Infinity here, it's nice to actually to recognize that yes, if we're going to be running with the Cyber Dragon support, then we probably should at least start to show off the additional the other Cyber Dragon stuff that's available. I'm making sure I'm reading Zwei correctly. Okay, I could do that, or I could just go for Proto Cyber Dragon, use Power Bond, and go for Cyber Twin Dragon Power Bonded.
Yay.
This should be more than enough. Assuming again that Jane doesn't actually have a battle trap face down. I mean, what could he possibly have? Mirror Gate, or Magic Cylinder, or Sakuretsu Armor, or nothing. He has nothing, Mr. Cloud. Obliteration!
Right. So normally the computer is not going to wait to use a trap card like that. If he had something, he would have used it the first time we tried striking him.
Yeah, Jaden is supposed to show off that he's got Winkaribo level 10 during that duel, but he didn't actually play it during that duel, so I don't know why they're giving us Winkaribo level 10 pieces there. Anyway, now we get to the end of Chaz's villain arc. We haven't really interacted with Chaz yet in game, but Chaz for the entirety of the anime so far has been an elitist shitbag to Jaden and virtually all the other characters around him. Despite the fact that the only duel he has on screen, he loses to Jaden with his Chthonian deck.
Chthonian soldier! Go!
Yeah, and as Pascarda mentions here, Bastion doesn't want a promotion. He's just accepting the duel because it's within the school system that he pretty much has to.
Less than an hour later.
Yeah, and we see here the first signs that Crowler, despite being an annoying bastard for most of the show, actually does care about the students following the basic school rules. Because once Chaz gets accused of throwing away Bastion's deck, Crowler is totally shocked and appalled by it, and it's like, no, that was not fucking cool. And Bastion just pulls out the Water Dragon deck that he already had made. Now, I really like Bastion as a character. Bastion being the smartest character on the show was never an annoyance to me because I've always felt like I was the smartest person in the room despite the fact that I am an idiot. That said, Bastion actually being a very skilled duelist plays really well into one of my favorite archetypes during this time, specifically Water Attribute Beatdown. Water Attribute Beatdown is very specifically using Hydrogeddon and Yumiruka in order to outcontrol your opponent using higher stats and higher monster presence that they can deal with. And if your opponents are relatively poorly equipped for it, it's extremely easy to actually storm out your opponents with that. Also, we get one of our first instances of the trap card Pinpoint Guard, and Pinpoint Guard is fucking amazing. The reason why Chaz didn't attack our Hyper Hammerhead there was very specifically, if he attacks our Hyper Hammerhead with a monster that's got an equip spell, well, he loses the equip spell and the monster goes back to his hand. So there's no real point in doing that.
It is amazing how these cards that incidentally cause debuffs on creatures like Lightning Blade usually are situational, but here we are in a game that will just set up the situations for us.
Let me think. Would Lightning Blade push... Yeah, Lightning Blade would push Master of Flaming Swords over Water Dragon, except I think... No, when Water Dragon is summoned, it's got the zero effect, doesn't it? It doesn't actually keep that.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's called Water Dragon. When you put two Hydrogeddons in one Oxygeddon together, you create Water
Dragon. Yeah, this is our opponent using Soul Charge to burn themselves for 4,000 damage, and then they lose the duel off of it because they can't do anything else. This
Lightning
happens more than once.
Shield. Do it.
Now, I'm grabbing my other Bonding H2O, though I don't draw into it. Oh yeah, trying to set up Bastion's actual win con of Water Dragon is very interesting. Don't do it. Like Hydrogeddon, the Hydrogeddon and the Oxygeddon combo that he actually has is just better on the field than Water Dragon is.
What do you got now, bucko? You got a face-down monster. He's running scared.
And that's game. It doesn't matter what that face-down monster is. Hyper Hammerhead will bounce it back to the hand, and then Cabazos will attack him directly. Or, I can do it the other way too. Thank you, Hyper Hammerhead. In the next episode, we'll continue on with Season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. We'll get to Shadow Riders eventually, I promise. But yeah, after this, Chaz gets kicked out. He has to go to North Academy, and we skip that entire arc. Be safe, everybody.